Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Yes, sir. We're back. We're back. Pray that everybody's having a blessed Shabbat. And we're back again. Episode 5 of Who Are These People? Yeah, and I think I'm picking up at verse 47 today. Deuteronomy 28, verse 47. And it reads, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Yes, yes, yes. Back again. And we trying to figure out who are these people that the Most High was talking about that are going to go into slavery because they wouldn't keep his commandments. Are they the people that are in the land now, or are they somewhere else? Are they someone else? And we trying to figure out, I want you to decide who those people are, who these things that I'm reading in the scripture. You tell me, who are these people? As you see in verse 48, it's talking about they're going to have a yoke of iron upon their neck. Now, there's only one people that you can think of that had a yoke of iron upon their neck when they was in slavery. Then they were going to be, they're going to serve. Let's read it. Verse 48, therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now, as you see, it's one specific people don't have a homeland and they got to go to their enemies for everything that they want, whether for clothing, whether for water, whether for even anything that they need, they got to go to their enemy because they don't have their own homeland and they're stuck still in the land of their captivity. Now, verse 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flies, a nation's whose tongue thou shalt not understand. When you think of an eagle, who do you think of? Now, for your entertainment, all of the European nations' symbol is an eagle. All of the European nations, whether Greek, United States of America, England, Rome, which all of them fall upon the Roman rule anyway, but they have the symbol of an eagle. And I want you to remember that back in 1884, there was a declaration that went out that those people with all those symbols, the symbol of an eagle, they went in and took authority over all the different countries in Africa, the whole African continent, and they want to rule over specific parts. Yes, so think about that part. Now, verse 50, a nation a fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. Think about this. What people do you know when they were in slavery, no matter how old the man was, he was still considered a boy to them. Little old child. I call that old man a boy. Sometimes they'll give him a little respect and call him uncle. You know what I'm saying? You know, but they didn't. But here in the scripture, in the text, it said they're not gonna regard any. They're not gonna have any kind of respect for these people. Verse 51, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall leave the either corn, wine, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest there, Salakia, throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God have given thee. Verse 53, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body and flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God have given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So that now we can go back to 70 AD, and that took place. The children of Israel, when Jerusalem was besieged by Titus, okay, when they was besieged, they were experiencing hunger and stuff, and they they weren't able to leave the city. You know, it was some that escaped, but all the rest of them, they were starved out. So it was a period of time in which they were eating their own babies. They were like, this baby look delicious. We don't have nothing else to eat. Let's eat the baby. Real talk. Sound terrible, but it happened. Now, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege. And in that straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her feet upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, toward her daughter. 57. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thy enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. Now, like I was saying, in that siege of 70 AD, when the Romans came in and besieged Jerusalem, and all the people were starving and stuff, they were eating their children. And you see how the man gonna leave his child and his wife, and they were just trying to survive. And you ain't have nothing to eat. See, that shows you that when adversity shows truly who a person really is. When you go through situations like this, adversity actually shows a person's true nature. These people were eating their own children, and And they probably eating some of the grown people. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High said this was gonna happen because they wouldn't keep the Most High's commandments. And it was talking about the woman too, how she gonna eat her own child and everything. She have a baby, and that baby, she probably put some seasoning salt or something on them and some salt and pepper, uh, cut it up and fried it. No, it's not funny and trying to make a joke, but hey, this happened. This happened in history. Now, verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Elohim thy Yah. Okay. God thy Elohim. Or some translation may say something else. This one actually said the Lord thy God, but this wasn't what they really used. Okay. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, and even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, verse 61, also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Now, letting them know they just came out of Egypt not too long ago when they was in the wilderness, and they were in captivity there for is estimated 200 some odd years. Some people say it was a 400-year captivity, but we know that they were in Canaan 200 and something odd years before they even went into Egypt, and then 215 years. Then they went into Egypt. Were there for 215 years, and the Most High delivered them out of that captivity. And then they went into the wilderness, and then here is Moses speaking, telling them about the blessings and the curses if they don't keep the Most High's commandments. So they know of the specific diseases and plagues and stuff that happened in Egypt. They were there. They seen it. They seen that it was things that came upon the Egyptians, and they shouldn't have wanted, by keeping the commandments, they wouldn't have got certain things that happened to them. But they didn't keep the commandments, so here it is. Verse 62, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoice over you to do you good and multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Verse 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy father shall have known, even wood and stone. All right. As you see right here, he said these people since they didn't keep his commandments, he's gonna scatter them from one end of the earth until the other. Now, being they're gonna be scattered to from one end of the earth to the other in captivity, who do you know that happens? This happened to? There's only one people that we know. Everywhere they were scattered, they are oppressed by somebody. They are the lower class of people, as you would call it. If you go to Europe, anywhere in Europe, and there's a certain people, they are the lower class citizens. You go to Asia, anywhere in Asia, you go, it's a certain people, they are the lower class people. Come to America, it's one people, they're the lower class people. You go anywhere on this planet, these people are mistreated. These people are under the yoke of bondage because not keeping the Most High's commandment. And then also, they're going to go and serve gods that them nor their forefathers ever knew about when they're in their place of captivity. Tell me this. Those people that call themselves Israel right now, how are they worshiping a God that their fathers have not, that their fathers or nor them have worshiped? It's only one people that can be. Plus, they're not scattered to the four corners of the earth, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. They're not scattered there. There's only one people that can fit that description. Plus, they're going to worship gods of wood and stone. When you think of wood and stone, you got the cross, the wooden cross, and you got the cobblestone in Mecca. So that stone, that wood and stone, that's Christianity, Catholic Christianity, and then you have Islam. Now, what nation of people you can look around that are in captivity, that are under bondage? You know, they treated bad everywhere they go, but they are still Christians, and they still Christians, or under some form of Christianity, and they are Muslims. Think about it. Who are these people? Now, verse 65. And among these nations shall thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and filling of eyes, and sorrow in mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear it day and night, and shall have no assurance of life. Okay, who did this sound like? There's only one people on this planet. They stuck in the land of their captivity. They don't have any insurance of their life. They sit around and they don't know if they're gonna get killed today or tomorrow or the next 5 minutes. They don't know what's gonna happen to their child. They don't know what's gonna happen to nobody that they know, to their families or friends or nothing. Their whole existence, it hangs in the balance of, I don't know what's gonna happen. So, and where did this come from? If the Lord will, I do this tomorrow. Or if the Lord will, I do this today or next week or whatever. Because their life is continually their life is continually not guaranteed to them, because no matter where they at, they don't know if they even gonna live to see tomorrow. There's no rest for the sole of their feet. What people do you know? How can you have rest for the sole of your feet if you are in a land where you don't rule anything, you don't have any government, you don't have any real society that you can say the members of your people group are in rulership? I mean, and then you don't have anywhere else you can go. You just stuck there. What kind of life is that? But this the scripture said this was gonna happen to those people. Verse 66, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. Thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of their life. They don't have no assurance of their life. Hey, what about this? What about those people so scared they don't even know if a police gonna shoot them that day? They can just be driving down the street and the police jump up and say, hey, let me kill one of these people today. Yeah, that go one right there. That'll work. Then they pull the person over, shoot them. There ain't nothing gonna happen. They just dead. They didn't plan for that to happen that day, but they have no assurance of their life. Sad, but it's true. Verse 67, in the morning thou shalt say, would God it were evening. And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. See what I'm saying? They be wishing that, man, I wish it was morning and it's nighttime. I wish it was night. I hope I can make it in the morning. I hope I can make it to the evening. Sad, but it's true. They have no assurance of their life. They don't know whether they're gonna die then or later or years from now, or they ain't gonna. These people are not gonna have any risk. When you go to the state of Israel, are those people worried about dying? Are they worried about somebody coming in and killing them? Nope. All they do is have fun and party and do whatever they want. Hey, they even got the biggest weirdo parade in the world there. It happens every year. All the weirdos come together around the world. That's the biggest celebration they have right there in the state of Israel. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. This is how it should read. And the Lord shall bring you into bondage again with ships, by the way whereof I spoke unto you. You shall see it no more again. You won't see this place no more that you were living in. And you shall be sold unto your enemies. for slaves, bondmen and bondwomen, and no man will redeem you. No man will purchase your freedom. No one is going to purchase your freedom. Think about this. Who are the only people on this planet that went into slavery that are still in the land of their captivity? Nobody, no other people that are like those people came and said, "Hey, let us redeem our people. Let us pay for our people and get them out of this slavery." Think about this. The Chinese went into slavery. You can call it that. In their land, okay. Are they still enslaved? Nope. They still have their homeland too, don't it? Yep. The what you would call Native Americans went into slavery. They went into slavery. Boom. They still, yeah, their land was taking over a lot of it, but don't they still have a place that they can call their homeland? Are they still enslaved by the same captives? No. You look at the Mexicans, went through their situation with the Spanish, but don't they still have a homeland? Do they have a place they still can go to? Yep. Are they still stuck in that land of captivity? Nope. You look at the white people that went into slavery, which it wasn't, only the Slavic people was actually slaves. The Europeans that went into slavery, the Europeans that really actually went into that was so-called went into slavery, that was actually 7 years of servitude. Then they were made free. So, just for you to understand that, besides the time in Egypt when they were shipping them in to their as slaves, but they didn't stay slaves then either. But let's move on. All the people that had their time with slavery were eventually released, and they were able to go back home, and they still have their civilizations, and everything is good. It's only one people that's still stuck in that same place they were enslaved in. So you tell me who those people are. What people you know went into slavery, still in slavery? I mean, if you want to really look at it, they never went home. They never were granted their own nation. They still don't have their own nation. What people are those people? I want you to think about that. And you tell me, is those people that are in the state of Israel, which if you know and understand history, you know that Israel was not just a little bitty small area, because they had lots. It was a lot of areas that they actually settled in, besides a little bitty small piece of land. You tell me though, who are these people? But now, I think I'm gonna do one more of these, and then I'm gonna end it. If you haven't figured it out by then, hey, that's on you. You know, that's between you and your thoughts and everything. But Now I'm signing off. I hope you picked up on who I'm trying to, who the scripture is trying to show you are the people of the Most High. Hopefully, this last one I'm gonna do, maybe you can pick up on it. But until next time, shalom, shalom. Have a rest of your this blessed Shabbat. Enjoy, and I'm signing out. Peace out.